I never thought losing something I worked so hard for could feel like a public execution. Yet there I was, standing in front of the journalism department bulletin board, my name absent from the list of interns for the New York Herald. And right at the top, shining like a cruel reminder of fate, was his name, Noah West. The same Noah who walked into class late every morning with a lazy smirk, like deadlines were suggestions and rules were just whispers in the wind. The same Noah who somehow, despite his reckless charm, always managed to have professors eating out of the palm of his hand. And now he had taken what was supposed to be mine. "You look like someone just stole your puppy." Noah's voice cut through the fog of my humiliation. He stood there, leaning casually against the wall, a folded copy of the campus newspaper in his hand. His smile was infuriating, arrogant, beautiful. I wanted to punch him, or maybe kiss him. I hated that the thought even crossed my mind. "You don't deserve it," I snapped, my voice sharper than I intended. "You barely show up, and yet somehow, he interrupted, pushing off the wall and stepping closer, his voice dropping low. "I'm good enough anyway?" I clenched my fists. He was right. He was good. Too good. His articles always cut deeper, read smoother, and carried more raw truth than mine. And that truth stung more than anything else. But life, it seems, has a cruel sense of humor. Because 1 week later, my professor called me into his office with news that would change everything. The Herald was expanding its internship slots, and I, the runner-up, was being added to the team, which meant one thing. I was now working side by side with Noah West. The first day at the Herald was chaos. Phones ringing, reporters shouting, printers spitting out drafts that smelled of ink and adrenaline. It was everything I'd ever dreamed of, and yet, the dream felt tainted because of him. Noah breezed through the newsroom like he belonged there, his easy charm winning over editors within minutes. I, on the other hand, tried to blend in, clutching my notebook like a lifeline. "Relax, Daniel," Noah whispered when he caught me frozen at my desk, staring at a blinking cursor on the screen. His voice was softer now, without the edge of arrogance. "You're going to burn a hole through your keyboard. Don't," I muttered, not looking up. "Don't pretend we're friends." There was silence for a beat. Then, unexpectedly, laughter. Who said I was pretending? Something shifted then, something I didn't want to acknowledge. Because no matter how much I wanted to despise him, Noah had a way of slipping through the cracks of my defenses. It started with small moments. Late nights in the newsroom, the fluorescent lights buzzing above as we typed side by side. Coffee runs where he'd remember exactly how I liked mine. A stupid inside joke about a typo that turned into endless teasing. He was still infuriating, but now he was also magnetic. One evening, we were sent out to cover a protest downtown. The air was electric, filled with chants, signs, and the weight of voices demanding to be heard. I was focused on taking notes, weaving through the crowd, when suddenly, someone shoved me hard. I stumbled, almost falling until Noah's hand shot out, gripping my arm tightly. "Careful," he said, his eyes locking onto mine. For a moment, the noise of the protest faded, the world narrowing down to just us. His grip was firm, protective, and my heart betrayed me with a single reckless thud. That night, as we filed our story together, I couldn't stop thinking about the way his hand had lingered just a second too long. But feelings, especially forbidden ones, have a way of spiraling out of control. The whispers started soon after. A few colleagues noticed how often Noah and I stayed late together, how our banter seemed charged with something unspoken. One evening, as I left the office, I overheard 2 interns snickering. "Think they're a thing?" one said. "Nah, Daniel's too uptight. And Noah, well, he's Noah. He could have anyone." Their words burned. Not because they were mocking me, but because part of me wished it were true that we were something. That I wasn't just imagining the sparks. And then came the night everything shattered. It was past midnight, the newsroom empty except for us. We'd been arguing over edits, the tension sharper than usual. I accused him of being careless with his facts. He accused me of being afraid to take risks. The fight escalated, voices rising, until finally I kissed me. It wasn't soft or tentative. It was desperate, angry, as if he was trying to silence me with his mouth. And God help me, I kissed him back. When we finally pulled apart, breathless, his forehead rested against mine. "You drive me insane," he whispered. "You stole my internship," I whispered back. He smiled, a broken, beautiful smile. "Maybe, but you're stealing my heart." The days that followed were a blur of confusion and stolen moments. A brush of hands under the desk. A smile held a little too long. But in a newsroom fueled by gossip, secrets don't stay buried for long. Rumors spread. Whispers grew louder. And soon it wasn't just idle chatter. Editors began to notice. One even pulled me aside, his voice low but sharp. "Daniel, be careful. This internship is your shot. Don't let distractions ruin it." The implication was clear. Noah and I were a distraction, and I had to decide whether chasing my dream was worth breaking my heart. The newsroom no longer felt like a sanctuary. Every step I took echoed with whispers. Every glance carried unspoken accusations. Noah tried to brush it off, laughing in that careless way of his, but I saw the shadows in his eyes when he thought I wasn't looking. One evening, after yet another day of editors scrutinizing us with thinly veiled suspicion, I cornered him outside the Herald building. The city was alive with neon and car horns, but between us there was only silence. "This isn't working," I said. The words cut my throat on the way out. "The internship uses too much. We're going to destroy everything." For once, Noah didn't have a comeback. His smile slipped, replaced by a raw vulnerability I had never seen before. "So you're saying what we have isn't worth fighting for?" I wanted to scream that it was. That every glance, every touch, every kiss felt like oxygen in a world that had been suffocating me. But dreams have weight, and mine was crushing me. "I'm saying I can't lose this opportunity," I whispered. He nodded slowly, jaw tight. Then, without another word, he walked away. The following weeks were hollow. I threw myself into work, producing flawless articles, determined to prove I was worthy of the Herald's approval. But perfection felt empty without his teasing over my drafts or the way he would nudge my shoulder when I got too serious. Late at night, alone in the office, I sometimes caught myself glancing at his desk, waiting for him to drop some sarcastic remark that never came. My words flowed, but my heart was silent. Then came the story that changed everything. A factory in Queens was accused of unsafe labor practices. The Herald wanted an in-depth piece fast. Noah was assigned as lead, and to my surprise, I was told to work alongside him. The editor's tone made it clear. "Prove you two can handle this, or risk losing your spots." When I saw Noah again, it was like facing a stranger who still knew the map of my soul. His greeting was clipped, professional. But as we dug deeper into the investigation, interviewing exhausted workers, sneaking into the factory floor, piecing together evidence, the old rhythm returned. We argued, we laughed, we worked until dawn. And somewhere in the chaos, our walls cracked. One night, after chasing leads for hours, we ended up in a dingy diner, both of us exhausted and half delirious with caffeine. I caught him staring at me, his expression softer than I'd ever seen. "What?" I asked, trying to sound annoyed. "You," he said simply. "Even when you hate me, you burn brighter than anyone else." I swallowed hard. "I don't hate you." His hand brushed mine across the table. Just a touch, but it was enough to unravel every defense I'd built. The article became a front-page story. Our bylines sat side by side in bold letters, our words sparking outrage and calls for reform. The newsroom buzzed with praise, editors congratulating us, colleagues nodding with respect. For the first time, I felt like I had truly earned my place. But what meant more was the quiet smile Noah gave me across the room. The unspoken acknowledgement that we had built something together, not just a story, but trust. Still, the world wasn't ready to celebrate us. The rumors reignited, fiercer this time. One editor pulled Noah aside, whispering about professionalism, appearances, the risk of scandal. I pretended not to overhear, but my chest ached with every word. That night, as we left the building, Noah stopped me under the glow of a street lamp. His hands trembled slightly as he reached for mine. "I don't care what they say," he said, his voice breaking. "I don't care if we lose everything. I can't keep pretending you don't matter to me." Tears stung my eyes before I could stop them. "You matter to me too. More than this internship. More than my stupid pride." And then, there on the quiet street with New York humming around us, I kissed him. Not out of anger or desperation, but out of love. A love I had tried so hard to bury, only to find it blooming stronger than ever. The days that followed weren't easy. Some editors looked at us differently. Some colleagues whispered louder. But we kept writing, kept fighting, kept proving that our work spoke louder than gossip. And slowly, the noise began to fade. Months later, when our internship ended, the Herald offered both of us positions. Not because of who we were together, but because of the stories we told, the truths we unearthed, the passion we poured into every word. On the night we signed our contracts, Noah dragged me to the rooftop of our old campus building, the same place where our rivalry had first ignited. The city stretched out before us, glittering and alive. He pulled me close, his forehead resting against mine. "Remember when you said I stole your internship?" I laughed softly. "You did." His lips curved into that infuriatingly beautiful smile. "Well, you stole my heart, so I guess we're even." I kissed him then, under the stars, the skyline wrapping around us like a promise. And for the first time, I felt no fear. Because love, like journalism, was about chasing the truth. And the truth was simple. We had found our story. Together. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.